Good morning, everyone. You might be wondering, where's my wacky story to start all things good and nerdy this week? Well, for episode 118, it's like testosterone part 4, I guess, if I go with the naming trend, because it's just Anthony and I, because happy birthday to Naki. She's taking the weekend off to go see Guardians and not have to wake up and do a podcast on a Sunday morning. So if you get a chance,
Happy birthday, Ducky!
yeah, go on the Twitters, guys. Go to @OneNerdyCupcake with a 1, not spelled, the number 1, not spelled out, and be like, hey, happy birthday, Naki. And tell her it's from us, because we like you, Naki.
Tell
She'll
her
never see
bacon,
this
bacon,
someday.
dick butts.
Yes, or send her something about bacon and dick butts, and that's even better.
And no pants, because it's Sunday, no pants.
Considering she was sleeping in and not wanting to do much on the Sunday, she might be obliging the typical ATG and no pants mantra right now.
That's true. That's probably highly likely.
I mean, the only reason I put pants on was to take my dog out to do his business, I'll be honest.
I'll bet your neighbors appreciated that.
Yeah, none of them were up yet. It's a quiet neighborhood. Or if they were, it's their own damn fault for looking out the window. I don't know.
Why are you people looking at me?
Exactly. But you guys know the big news right now. Guardians of the Galaxy came out, what, Thursday at 12:01 a.m.? Well, technically Friday at 12:01 a.m. Anthony and I have both seen it. We can talk no spoilers on it, because next week we're going to spoil the crap out of this movie. We want to give our listeners a chance to go and see the movie before we possibly ruin it for them.
Fair enough. Yeah, I saw it's sad, but I saw like the instant complaints on Facebook of people like, you know what, I'm dropping friends and blocking them because they're giving spoilers to a movie that's been out for like 6 hours.
Yes.
It's like, it's really not that hard to not be a dick on social media.
Yeah,
Or
follow
just
Wheaton's
put a big
law, don't be a
fat-ass-
dick.
Yeah, or just put a big fat-ass spoiler warning on your post. Like, if you really feel the need to talk about the stinger at the end credits of a Marvel film, fucking put a spoiler warning on your shit. It's not that hard.
Yes, and I will say this much, I'm not spoiling the stinger. This is not a stinger that sets up anything else. It is a just for fun stinger. It's not like...
Yeah, it's a foot stinger. It's like Avengers.
Yeah, it's not like Tony Stark showing up at the end of The Incredible Hulk or something like that. This is something completely different. It's fun. It has nothing to do with setting up any future movies, anything like that. It's just fun.
It only has to do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I fucking loved it.
It's fantastic. There was a part of me that was really hoping. I was like, oh, come on, guys. Make this be the Avengers 2 Comic-Con footage. Do it. Do it. And there's a part of me that was really sad that it wasn't.
See, and I was hoping for something more Richard Rider Nova related. But
yeah. Oh, and I will say, if you go and see this movie, and you know Nathan Fillion's in it, don't be looking for him because he's just a voice actor. You have to listen for him. That's the only hint I'm going to give you guys.
As I totally didn't realize him was him.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought it might have been him, and then at the end I looked it up. I was like, oh, that actually was Nathan Fillion. This is fantastic.
Yeah, see, I was looking for him. So like literally, I was trying to see him, like, you know, in certain sequences, and I was like, I didn't see him through the whole movie. I was like, did I miss it?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Once I figured out who it was, it's like, okay, I totally didn't miss it. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah. Just some general impressions of the film. I think that Chris Pratt was awesome as Peter Quill. The guy, he works on screen. I want to see if they do an Indiana Jones reboot. Chris Pratt is Indiana Jones. I've decided.
Yeah, Chris Pratt fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
I had no faith in that kid as an actor other than just, it's like, oh, he's the dumb guy from Parks and Rec. Like, I didn't know him from anything else. I never saw, Zero Dark 30?
Yep.
So I really hadn't seen him in anything else. So I had no clue, you know, that he'd be able to do this. And, of course, it's one of those things like, you know, Kevin Feige and the Marvel guys, I mean, they've been nailing down some casting shit pretty damn good for the last, 20 years?
Yeah,
I mean,
they haven't gotten one wrong, really, at this point.
Yeah, they're amazing. And so, yeah, seeing him in that role, he was perfect. The right blend of humor and stuff was just awesome. And I actually just watched the thing on IMDb where they were talking about what to watch this week, and their what to watch is Guardians. And when the guy was interviewing Pratt, he asked him, how old are you? And Chris Pratt said, well, I'm 35. He's like, do you know how old Harrison Ford was when he did Star Wars? He was 35.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, if he turned around and did basically, you know, the intergalactic movie and then some type of version of an Indiana Jones type movie, it would be fucking amazing.
I mean, just watching him in this movie, he can pull it off because he has that ability to dry humor and the...
Definitely. He could nail that character in a heartbeat.
I think Draftsman agrees. He said in the chat room Chris Pratt's an awesome actor.
Yeah, he is. He was perfect. Oh, it was so good.
He also brings
That
up.
and
Oh,
I'm
go
trying to
ahead.
remember who was. I think it was Kevin Smith or Ralph Garman on Hollywood Babylon was saying that from what they're looking at, I think it was them, but someone was saying that they don't see how this movie won't launch him into stardom. To where 2 years from now, Chris Pratt is going to be the Chris Hemsworth in all the action films type actor.
That could be
He's going
cool.
to be that guy that just won't go away. He's going to be in everything.
I mean, this was a lot of people's first look as him as a look at him as a leading man in Hollywood. I mean, he's done roles in like Zero Dark 30. Everyone said he's really good at, but he's not been the dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been the face of the franchise. He's been the one that's been going out and talking about it on Letterman and Leno and things like that. Well, not Leno, but we know what I meant.
Yeah. I loved him on the Jimmy Kimmel, him and the other guys when they had didn't they have, I think they had all 5 of the Guardians facing off the 8-year-old trivia girl.
Yeah, I think
that
so.
was like everything Marvel. Yeah, he was great, like walking in like he was gonna take her down. He was all cocky. It was so cool.
The draftsman also brought up a
I
good
love
point.
that.
He says Michael Rooker steals all the scenes he's in. That's 100% right. Rooker was fantastic. He's basically
Rooker
playing
was-
Merle, though, as a alien.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. There was some Merle in there. Michael Rooker, he's becoming like my second tier. Shit. Bram Stoker's Dracula. Commissioner Gordon.
Jim. Crap. Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. Like Michael Rooker's like slowly climbing that. Can you think of a Michael Rooker role where he played somebody that wasn't a great movie?
Mallrats.
I fucking love Mallrats. You
I
really
do too.
And for all the ladies out there, you want to see some nice, young, muscular Michael Rooker ass. Mallrats starts with a Michael Rooker ass shot.
That's true.
It's a very creepy thing, but the ladies might like it. But I mean, yeah, he's that character actor that disappears into roles and people forget that like he played this character or this character, and he's so fucking good. Like I'm not sure if I've seen a Michael Rooker movie that I don't love. Because like Slither, he was so fucking good in Slither. That's one of my favorite things he's ever done. He was great in that. And yeah, his Yondu is fucking awesome. The Whistle Spear was, the CGI on that thing was spectacular.
Yes, there's a moment in that film where you think he's going to just betray a bunch of people, and then you're like, holy crap, he got out of it. And it's just incredible how he does it.
Yeah. Fucking yeah, I guess there were a few people that were like, real hardcore Marvel enthusiasts that were mad that he didn't have the gigantic fin, like the red Mohawk fin. I thought, I mean, that's the type of thing that like you can't really walk into a room like that. It wouldn't make sense in a spaceship where everything's only 7 feet tall. But yeah, he looked fucking cool.
I thought so too. What was some of the other things I was thinking? I want a Groot and Rocket buddy cop movie. Because their pairing on screen is fantastic, and I was really surprised how much I enjoyed the Rocket character.
Wait,
he was not just the gimmicky thing for kids to like. He's a really good character.
This was the Groot and Rocket buddy cop movie. It just Peter Quill took a little bit of screen time. Yeah, they were both fucking spectacular, and yeah, they could quite easily do a Groot and Rocket movie, and I don't think they'd have any trouble selling it.
No. I mean, it made me want to go and read some of the older comics with them in it. And actually, I did go on Comixology and buy the run from 2008 to 2010 because it was 99 cents an issue.
Nice. And yeah, I just recommended for Bachman's Best the new Scotty Young written and drawn Rocket Raccoon. That first issue was just pure fucking fun. And it starts with him tracking down Groot at an interstellar wrestling match.
Oh, nice.
And then you find out about Rocket apparently has a lot of ex-girlfriends in the galaxy. So yeah,
that's great.
That's where the story's going, and it's fucking fun. It's just pure fun. And Scotty Young's artwork on it is spectacular. No shocker there.
Yeah, exactly. What were some of the other things I was saying? I'm trying to think real hard with not spoiling things.
Yeah, not spoiling things does make it tough. So what did you think about Dave Bautista?
He did all right. I mean, they didn't make Drax a big player in anything, so he didn't have to do a bunch, which worked out all right. But he did get some good one-liners.
He has some great one-liners. I like the fact that he's when Rocket's like, he's completely literal.
Yes.
Everything goes over his head. Nothing goes over my head.
My reflexes are quick.
amazing.
He was very good, but he didn't have to do a whole lot in the film. Let me put it that way.
Well, fair enough. I mean, I'm not expecting Oscar caliber from any wrestler turned actor.
He did get one of my favorite, most heartwarming moments of the movie, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe this one. He consoles Rocket about something. That's the best way I can put it. At the end of the film.
Yeah.
And that was a little heartwarming, and you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
I thought he did a great job. I mean, especially I've seen the other movies that he's done since he left wrestling, and this is definitely like a step up from most of those.
Yes.
I mean, I had no problem with him as the Iron Body and the Man with the Iron Fist, but he really, really didn't do much in that one, acting-wise, other than just walk around and beat the shit out of people. Drax at least had a character, and he actually had a character arc, which for a guy who maybe says, 20 lines in the whole film, they actually develop him quite a bit.
They do.
When he's first introduced to what he is at the end of the movie.
He was much better than I thought he was going to be. Let me put it that way. I wasn't expecting anything from him, and there were moments I was like, hey, that was actually pretty good. But I think that Drax, he seemed like the least featured of the Guardians, for lack of a better term. He got the least screen time, it seemed like.
Yeah, I think it was also because his character is based on he's got one thing that he's there for, he's focused on that only, and it completely coincides with the mission. Yes. It's like, okay, we don't really need to talk about why we're getting him on the team. We know why he's on the fucking team.
I mean, pretty much, it's just a fun movie, guys. It has a very Star Wars feels to it for me. You've got the comedy, you've got the action, the space battles. This is one that I might not mind seeing in 3D, because I was thinking some of those space battles would look really cool in 3D.
Yeah, they might, and actually I read an article where James Gunn said he was actually part of the conversion process.
Yes, I've seen that
too. Like, he went and actually edited the movie differently for the 3D cut. So even though the film wasn't actually shot in 3D, the director was there doing the actual conversion and a different cut. So there's slight variations, he said. Nothing that changes the story or anything, but slight variations on the look of the movie for the 3D cut. So this is one that, I might think it might actually be worth throwing in a pair of contact lenses and going back to the theater to catch it in 3D before it leaves the big screens.
And the nice thing here, guys, is if you really enjoyed this flick, the sequel's coming in a couple years with the exact same team.
Hells yes.
I'm excited.
Oh, totally. I already want, where's my Guardians 3-disc, 3-movie trilogy Blu-ray box set? Just give it to me now. I want to wait.
Draftsman in the chat room made a point about Drax. He said the great thing about Drax is that him consoling Rocket makes you believe he has a wife and kid. I now believe he has a real loss and reason to kill.
True. Yeah, he doesn't come off as just like a machine, which is, would be the easiest way to write that character. Is he's unfeeling, he has one focused goal, and he doesn't care about anything else. And it's not true. He really is. He's someone that's pissed off for a very, very specific reason.
Exactly. And I'll part on one last thing for you guys to look for, because it's really funny in this movie. 2 words: Dancing Groot.
Yeah, the Dancing Groot is good.
How long until Marvel starts selling Dancing Groots?
I was just thinking of all those little toys where you'd have the little character and you'd hit the button, and the little character would dance. They've got to have just trucks going to Disney stores right now filled with millions of little dancing Groots, because those are going to sell like hotcakes.
All of my buddy's wife went to the movie with us, and my girlfriend went there, and both of them at the end of the movie said, "Man, we want dancing Groots." I'm like, they've got to make them. There's no way they can't not make these.
There's so much that to make. I can't. It's going to be what's going to be amazing is how many kids I'm going to see this year dressed up as Rocket for Halloween.
Yes,
because you're going to see every different version of gluing carpet to a kid to make him look like a raccoon.
I can't wait to see what they do.
Yeah, there's going to be 1 million different little kids running around as Rocket Raccoon for Halloween this year, and any of them that have really tall older brothers will hopefully be Groot. Yeah. I actually found out when I stopped at my LCS after the movie to pick up my comics. We have a girl that works there named Nikki who's really small. She's, I don't know, 5'1", 5'2", maybe.
Okay.
And just itty bitty. Her boyfriend, I guess, is 6'2", 6'3", and they've done a lot of cosplaying together before. The next con they go to, they're working on doing a Groot and Rocket set again, so that they'll be, there'll be a couple, but they'll be the duo. So they're trying to figure out how to make him look like a giant tree.
Yeah, when we did Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. last night, they were talking about it, and they said, hey, you know, Groot and Rocket are basically Han and Chewie. And I was like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's competition for who's Han though.
That's true.
Because of Chris Pratt.
That's
because
true.
Star-Lord wants to be Han, but he wants to be a hero.
That's true. He's like a mix of Han and Luke Skywalker almost.
Yeah, he doesn't mind being scruffy looking. But don't
Who's
call him
scruffy
Nerf
looking?
herder. Yeah. Who you call him scruffy looking?
Yeah, exactly. So, Draftsman in the chat room said that Chris has it right. The movie was amazing in IMAX 3D. It's a moving tribute to Indiana Jones and Star Wars brought together. He said he saw it in IMAX 3D. It was worth the extra.
Now, I was trying to think, like, the sequence in Thor 2 in the Dark World when they're escaping Asgard, and everybody talked about that sequence being, like, you could just swap the characters out and bam, that's a Star Wars scene. Basically, the entire Guardians of the Galaxy movie is a Star Wars movie.
Yes, it has a very great Star Wars feel.
It has that level, and like it has that level of detail for the characters, for the environment, for the story. Like nothing feels like cheap or rushed. So I mean, I think it's something where like you look back at the original trilogy, like you could tell, like no matter how much you hate him, George Lucas put his fucking heart and soul into those movies.
He did.
And you can tell that James Gunn and the cast did the same thing with Guardians. There was nobody half-assing it. Nobody was just there for a paycheck. Like, everybody was there, working their ass off, having fun, and showing that they actually cared about the material.
I really, really enjoyed this flick. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I'm still not sure, but it might be my new #1 Marvel film.
I have it sitting at number 4.
It's the 30th one I've seen in a row on opening day. That is why DC
That's
is
impressive.
losing. Since Blade 1, I've seen every Marvel property film, so the Spider-Mans, the X-Men, not necessarily Marvel Studios, but every Marvel-based film since Blade 1. This is the 30th movie they put out since 1996. Since then, we've had, 2 Supermans, 3 Batmans, a Green Lantern, and a Jonah Hex. That's why DC is losing.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for sheer fucking numbers. Yeah, okay, so Punisher Warzone lost Marvel money. I still think it was a great film, and they put out a rated R superhero movie.
Which I couldn't believe they did.
I don't know about superhero, but, I mean, they put out a rated R Marvel film. I mean, I look at that, and then the fact that they didn't lose money on Guardians, and I hope Kevin Feige is on the phone talking to Fox about putting out the next rated R Marvel film. Because they need to fucking do it.
As of right now, they're projecting a $90 million opening weekend for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Which is just amazing.
Which is a record.
And it's the movie they thought they were going to lose money on.
Exactly.
Like, this was the risk. This is the 4th-tier characters that nobody knows. Nobody's going to go see this movie. The general public doesn't care. And they promoted it exactly right. They got the right actors in it. The fucking soundtrack kicks ass.
Oh, it's incredible. The thing that people are starting to realize now is if you put the Marvel Studios logo on something, people trust it at this point because Marvel Studios hasn't put a stinker out yet. They really haven't.
No, Marvel Studios hasn't.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because I'm pretty sure Punisher Warzone was Marvel Studios, but it's very separate because it was a rated R film. It was for adults only. It wasn't designed to get the 8 to 10-year-old little boys to go see it. This movie is.
Exactly. A very good movie. At this point, I'm really hesitant to keep talking about it as much because I'm afraid I'm going to spoil people. We are going to talk about it next week when Naki's back. We're going to spoil the hell out of it. We'll go in depth on it. But if you can't wait and you have to be spoiled on Guardians of the Galaxy and hear what people think about it, go check out Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. on the Gun and Geek Network. It should be posting probably this morning or this afternoon, their one-shot talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. The only reason I know that's coming is because I was on it last night. So this is some shameless self-promotion and network promotion all in one plug.
There you go.
Look how that happens. Boom. So if you need to be spoiled now, go check out Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. over at legendsofshield.com or GonnaGeekNetwork.com, and they'll have the stuff there for you. And we will spoil the crap out of this next week because it's going to be really hard not to.
Yeah, you get 1 week, people, and then I'm talking about shit.
Exactly.
So most inevitably.
We opened the show a little different than normal. We started talking about Guardians of the Galaxy because I didn't think I could contain myself and not talk about it.
I'm Groot.
I am Groot. We need Wing to come on the show and say it now. Actually, I think it's in our intro.
True.
Or the Gonna
There's
Geek Network.
There's nothing in there with an H, so he can do it.
But I did want to bring up news of the week real quick. Mine's almost Guardians of the Galaxy-esque almost, because we're talking about another space adventure movie. Tim Allen has confirmed that a Galaxy Quest sequel was in fact written, but the script has never seen the light of day.
So, and did he say because it was bad, or because like whoever wrote it?
I'm trying to find the quote. I just lost the quote. Tim Allen says at one stage there's a sequel somewhere it's written, but I haven't really gotten a straight answer about it. But Hollywood is a very peculiar place. It's none of my business. It's there, just nobody has it. Let's see, the screenwriter Robert Gordon added, I definitely have ideas for a sequel. He said that Sigourney Weaver, Tim Allen, Sam Rockwell, and Justin Long all confirmed they'd be interested in doing it as well.
Nice.
Yes. I love Galaxy Quest. It's one of my favorite flicks out there just because it's fun. I mean, and I think one of the funniest things is it was voted one of the best Star Trek movies by Star Trek fans. And it's a parody of Star Trek.
Galaxy Quest might be the best Star Trek movie ever.
It could very well be.
It's very hard to beat. Like, I mean, you look at the OG Wrath of Khan. I would probably say like the OG Wrath of Khan, then the first J.J. Abrams, and then Galaxy Quest. Like, it's at least in my top 3. Because yeah, it's fucking spectacular.
Wow, this is the 15th anniversary of it coming up in December. I didn't realize it'd been out that long. December 99 it originally came out. Holy crap.
Wow, yeah, that has been a while.
I must have more. I have to have more. But that's my news of the week, is that there's a sequel that exists somewhere that's been written, but it hasn't seen the light of day, and it makes me sad inside. So I'm hoping that Anthony has some happier news for me.
I do, and I did want to mention something real quick. Jasmine was mentioning that the Blade movies were rated R. The Blade movies were R's, but they were also not produced by Marvel Studios. The reason that this whole superhero fucking golden age of movies started is because Wesley Snipes put his own money down, started Amun-Ra Productions,
The money he didn't pay taxes on.
Blade. Huh?
The money he didn't pay taxes on and went to jail.
Yeah, the money he didn't pay taxes on. But still, he put the money down. He started his own production company, Amun-Ra Productions, and did the first Blade film after buying the rights from Marvel. So yeah, they were 3 rated R films, but they also made money. Punisher Warzone, I was specifically talking about that one as the last rated R Marvel movie, because it's also the last Marvel film that was Marvel Studios, and it lost money. It cost them, what was it, $100 million to make, and it made $35 million in the theaters.
Yeah,
so I'm not even sure if it eventually recouped everything, even on Blu-ray and DVD. I fucking love it. I think it's an amazing film. It's the best splatterfest that's ever come out of any comic book movie ever, because it was a splatterfest. It wasn't trying to be realistic. If you've never seen it, like, there's literally scenes where he's slitting people's throats and there's blood spurts that go 10, 15 feet. Like, it's ridiculous. But that's what made it fun. Like, they didn't try to be super realistic. It's like the peak of ultra-violence. It's way over the top. Like, it was a blast.
It's violence for violence sake.
Exactly, yeah. It's super violent. But yeah, it's just I loved it, but yeah, it didn't make Marvel money, and so that's one of the reasons I think that and now that the mouse is in charge, it's a little harder for the Marvel guys to push to get an R movie. But I mean, there's still a couple of properties that they own that really need it, and one of those would be my news of the week, which is, if you haven't seen it yet, I don't know what fucking rock you're living under, but somebody let slip a little, 2-3 minutes? But it is the test footage from the Deadpool film.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Apparently made, I think it, in the article, they were saying, I think it was 3 years ago. Because, yeah, I read an article about it where they actually talked to Rob Liefeld and Fabian Nicieza, the co-creators of Deadpool. And, yeah, like, they both talked about it. This was, like, 3 years ago. And Liefeld said that he was basically on set for everything they were doing with the motion capture and stuff. And the fact that the director at that time was doing all this amazing shit, and he said even now, 3 years later, that guy would step it up even higher. So the fact that basically Fox hasn't turned this into a film yet is just ridiculous. But it's,
I think they're scared of it.
Yeah, they're scared of it. They said the version that they were working on was they were trying to go for PG-13, not an R, which, why? There's, you giving us a fucking a Deadpool movie that's not rated R is almost pointless.
Well, I saw an interesting article out there. I can't remember where, but they said they could get away with doing a PG-13 movie. It would basically have almost all the same violence still. They just couldn't show as much blood and gore, and then it could be a PG-13 Deadpool flick. You could still use a lot of the language and stuff, but it was going to be the blood and gore they have to tone down.
Yeah, and see, and I want the blood and gore. I want Deadpool to like be missing an arm in a scene, like having half of his face blown off, and just like in the little sequence. If you people haven't seen it yet, which go watch it. It's fucking amazing. I'm pretty sure you can still find the HD version all over the internet, and it's beautiful. But the first thing that Deadpool says is, "Why the red suit? So the bad guys can't see me bleed."
Exactly.
It's because Deadpool, he has the Wolverine healing factor, for people who aren't fans of Deadpool and maybe don't know, but he has fun with it. He basically knows he can't die. And so, like, you know, he starts the whole attack sequence by jumping off a freeway overpass and dropping through the sunroof of an SUV. Like, that would kill most people right there.
And it's
That's how he
fantastic.
starts the fight. Like, and then, of course, he busts into, what is it? Ola me llamo es, and it's whatever, the pool of death, which
Yes.
you know, the subtitles by
Pool
Spanish.
de la
folks.
Muerte or something like that?
Yeah, the pool de la muerte or something, and then he drops a line like, "I'm sorry to tell you, Trevor, I'm pregnant," but he does it like a Spanish soap opera, and then starts hitting the guys. It's perfect fucking Deadpool.
And this
writing
proves
on
that
it,
Ryan Reynolds is the perfect person to
Yeah.
play Deadpool.
he is the merc with the mouth. And yeah, it's the best meme I saw. Somebody put it up on Facebook like as soon as this came out, and it said, "Fox, we will forgive you this," and it had the Deadpool from Wolverine X-Men, "if you give us this," and it had the shot of the new Deadpool. And yeah, it's literally a 2-3 minute little cutscene, but it is quite literally Deadpool brought to live action perfectly. They just need to, whoever did that, give them an hour and a half of that, and it would be a perfect Deadpool film. I still think
so,
it needs
too.
to be rated R though.
Yeah, I think it's in what I want to see in the world, it needs to be rated R, but what they're comfortable with doing, they're going to have to do PG-13 is what I think.
Yeah, and part of the problem also is we know at this point, Marvel Studios, has only had basically one dud, and they've never had any bad movies. Just the one, as far as I know, really Punisher Warzone is the only one that didn't make them money. So I mean, they do great films and they take risks. And at this point, I think a lot of people are going to forget. Nobody knows who the fuck the Guardians of the Galaxy are. The general public cannot name a person on that team. And yet, it's about to have one of the biggest opening weekends ever in Marvel history. Because it is a great movie. It is great characters. It is a great script. And everything came together perfectly. But Marvel took a risk. Like, this was an idea. It was like, hey, we're going to take a fourth-tier group of people and just go crazy and create, our galactic settings. And, it's fucking working. I think the Marvel Studios guys, if they had the rights to Deadpool, would have the balls to say, you know what, fuck it, we're going to do a rated R, or hell, they might push an NC-17. The Disney would never let that go. But, I mean, I don't think they would have any trouble pushing a rated R Deadpool film, but sadly it's owned by Fox, because Fox is still making an X-Men movie every 2 weeks, and so, therefore, they're never going to lose the rights. Same way Sony's never going to give up Spider-Man. As long as it still keeps making money, they're going to keep pumping out films. So Fox will be happy to give us a Deadpool film as long as they can make money on it.
You got to
I
think
don't think they're happy to do a rated R version.
Marvel's a lot more comfortable being able to put a risk film out there because they've made bank off of all their movies. The X-Men franchise has made bank, but that's all they've got to fall back on. And since Deadpool is peripherally related to the X-Men, the last thing you want to do is taint that franchise with a stinker of a Deadpool movie or a risky Deadpool movie in their opinion. The fact that X-Men came back from Origins Wolverine in a very weak X3 is very impressive to me.
Yeah, because I'm gonna say, the X-Men films. I mean, they've had a roller coaster ride. The Sony's done, I think monetarily better with the Spider-Man films, but even those have shown, by the third of the Raimi films, it made a lot less than the first Spider-Man. Right. But I mean, Spider-Man's still basically bank in the box office. The X-Men films, there's been a little up and down on the roller coaster depending on what they were doing. But yeah, it's something where I wish they could just blow up Fox and Sony and get the damn rights back to their characters.
Yeah.
I want to see the real 616. I want to see the Avengers film. Yeah, but I want to see the Avengers film where Spider-Man's swinging through the background, and they run into the X-Men during a galactic fight. Like,
Ooh.
everybody's there. Yeah, I mean, that shit needs to happen.
I want to see House of M on screen.
Oh, I would love to see. Just actually, okay, Sony can go ahead and just do the House of M Peter Parker movie.
Ooh.
Peter Parker wakes up in
Yeah.
his dream world where he never met Mary Jane, people. Because in Peter Parker's dream world, he's married to Gwen Stacy. She never died.
Never
Spoilers.
But of course,
Gwen
he's also
Stacy
the Green
died.
Goblin in his dream world.
Which I'm still not sure I understand. I think I read it twice, and I'm still not sure like where the split personality thing really came from.
Yeah, me neither.
I do love the fact that in that world he had, what was it, Crusher Hogan, the first wrestler he fought, as his bodyguard. That was fucking amazing.
Hilarious. That was fantastic.
That and Parker Industries, or whatever it was called in that world. Which I kind of like now that in Amazing Spider-Man we're getting the Parker Industries stuff, thanks to Doc Ock.
Yep. All right, so those were the big news
That was
items.
my news of the week.
Yeah. Drasman said in the chat room, sorry I missed you. He goes, I love The Punisher. I remember reading the Frank Miller crossover with Daredevil run, and it made me fans for life. And the side-scroller game with Nick Fury as the other player.
Nice. That's some old school Punisher shit. Yeah, see, I'm just one of those weirdos. I remember there have been 3 Punisher films, people. I own all of them. The original one stars Dolph fucking Lundgren. He-Man himself was actually the first Punisher.
You.
Yeah. And that's just a psychotic person living in the sewers shooting people. The only thing he was really missing in that movie is he never had a big white skull in his chest. He was just a crazy fucker living in the sewers shooting people.
They're just working their way up to it, I guess.
Yeah. That one it had Louis Gossett Jr. It had a real good actor in it. What the fuck? Nope, but almost no one's ever seen it.
It has Dolph Lundgren as the lead. I think that's the main thing right there, why nobody's seen it.
Hey, he's not bad. I love him in The Expendables.
He's not bad, but he's not good either.
He was great in Showdown in Little Tokyo with Brandon Lee.
Fair enough.
Anybody hasn't seen that, that is a fantastic martial arts film.
Fair enough. So we should probably get into the rest of the news. Basically, we're going to wrap up Comic-Con for you guys real quick. We're going to gloss over a bunch of the stuff that came out, and I'm getting the news from The Verge because they had a 32 things you have to know from Comic-Con. So they gave me a nice list.
Didn't something happen last week in Southern California? I think there was some event.
Yeah, it's something like the San Diego Comic something or other.
Oh, and I have to make a quick note. The San Diego Comic-Con International, which I believe is actually their legal name, also known as the bunch of fucking dicks that are trying to send cease and desist letters to every Comic-Con in the nation, telling them that they can't use the term Comic-Con because they tried to copyright it, and from what I understand, they failed, and yet they're still sending cease and desist letters. So
It's
basically,
ridiculous.
whoever runs San Diego Comic-Con, not only are they not happy being the biggest convention in the world, which really has nothing to do with comics anymore.
No, that's
I
the
believe-
sad thing.
Yeah, somebody put it out. They need to, instead of changing it, them sending cease and desist letters is ridiculous. Every comic book convention that's an actual comic book convention should send a cease and desist letter to SDCC and tell them to change their fucking name to the San Diego Media Convention, because that's what they are. They're a fucking media convention. They don't have shit to do with comic books.
But that's the problem. I think it was Steve Boyd who co-hosts WTWD Radio Free Woodbury in the network. He also owns a store in Tennessee, I think he lives in. I always get it messed up. So if I got it wrong, I apologize. But he posted a very interesting article on his Facebook. The owner of Mile High Comics, which is one of the big comics stores out there, has said he's probably not going back to SDCC next year because he lost $10,000 each year for the past couple years. Because people go out there and it costs them so much money, they save their money to go get like the Marvel exclusives directly from Marvel and things like that. So people aren't buying comics now; they're going to the con to go and look at a bunch of stuff from all these media corporations.
And stand in lines.
Yeah. So you're kind of forcing the comics out of Comic-Con is kind of the sad thing at this point, which is why
I saw a follow-up article to that where the owner said he is going to come back to SDCC next year.
Did he? Okay, well that's good then. I mean, but
it wasn't because of anything SDCC did. It was because the fans were so bummed that Mile High Comics wasn't going to be there.
I mean, I would be too. I think it's starting to show now that SDCC, while it might be considered by many to be the premier Comic-Con, like the true spirit of Comic-Con, you're starting to see in things like New York Comic-Con and some of the things that used to be like the second tier level things are getting a life of their own, and
Emerald City, dude.
Emerald City,
Oh my
C2E2,
God.
even though it's very entertainment oriented.
Yeah, but at least I mean it has, comics and entertainment in the title. Like they
Right.
didn't even start off just saying, "Oh, we're only a comic book convention." It's sad because yeah, some of these comic book conventions are media cons now, and the comic artists are like second tier at best. They're trying to do one here in Boise, and I would love to support it, but one, I've sadly heard bad things about the people that are backing it and running it, and two, they'd announced I think 13 or 14 guests, and they hadn't announced one single person who'd ever worked in comics.
Oh,
It was
really?
a bunch of TV actors and old school Munsters actors and voice actors. Which, hey, it's great that all those people want to come to little rat-ass Boise, Idaho, and actually finally give us a convention. But don't call yourself a comic book convention if you don't have any people that work in fucking comics at your convention.
Right.
So far, they've announced two, and it's one guy that used to work in comics and one guy that is about to work on a Dark Horse book, I think. But still, like, there's no actual like big name pencilers or writers coming to Boise, Idaho.
Right.
So
We've
it's
got
not really a comic convention.
we have a local con here. It's the West Virginia Pop Con, which is a pop culture con, which focuses on a lot of things. But like this year in comics, for instance, they got Peter David coming as one of their main guests, which is fantastic for a
Nice.
third-year con. To have Peter David coming. Past couple years, they had Kyle Higgins there, and they had Ethan Van Sciver last year. Some Marine stuff. So we've gotten very lucky that literally the local con that's 10 minutes from my house is bringing in
Oh,
people like that.
nice. Yeah, see, and I'm highly skeptical of ours, and I'm very sad that not only is it a first-year con this year, they're trying to charge more than Salt Lake City for a 3-day pass to the Boise convention that has no track history.
Oh, that's
But
crazy.
last year, this is Salt Lake, I think, their third year. First year they had 70,000. Last year they had 100,000. This year they're going to probably have at least 120. And I'm going to Salt Lake because it looks that good. And they have a proven track record. Their last 2 years have been amazing. The Boise one that they're trying to start this year has absolutely no track record, and they're trying to charge more than a 3-day con in Salt Lake City that has a proven track record and way bigger guests.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just I'm
So
mad
the
at
local
the people
one
trying
here-
to start one here.
It's still affordable too. It's like $10 a day to go to the con. It's only a
Nice.
2-day con. It's only a 2-day con here, but still, $10 a day. They're bringing in people like Peter David. They've got Nicholas Brennan coming as one of their big celebrities coming in. So, from my point of view, I'm like, this is awesome. I don't have to travel very far and go to a con, and I get to go to Artist Alley and get a whole bunch of new cool stuff. Fantastic.
That's what I was hoping, was that whoever started one here would do start with a Saturday only con for like $10 and try to get 10,000 people in the door. Not nothing huge. But no, these people are trying to do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday con and charge like $60 a day.
That's
They
crazy.
want $200 for a table at Artist Alley for an unproven con, and instead of being smart and doing it at like a small hotel in town, because I mean, Boise has a lot of hotels. We have a couple convention centers. No, they're doing it at the fucking fairgrounds at the Expo building. They're trying to fill up, like the largest venue available in Boise. Like, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
They're aiming so high, I think, yeah, they're going to get a little Icarus, get a little melted wax going on, and then
You have
it'll
to
only
crawl
last
before-
1 year.
Yeah, you have to crawl before you walk and walk before you run. It seems like they're stepping straight to like a sprint.
These motherfuckers think they're Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
And they run a little more like fucking, probably going to run a little more like, a slightly disabled kid, is what I'm expecting. It's going to be sad.
Yeah, so some of the big stuff coming out of Comic-Con. We'll start with Marvel first. We've already touched on it a lot. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 confirmed. They talked about Ant-Man and showed off some promo art. And what was it? Oh, yeah, they showed Avengers 2 footage there that was really good. So if you get a chance, there's really good links and articles out there. Over at Uproxx, they have pretty much a 6-paragraph description of all the Avengers Age of Ultron footage, and it looks really good. It sounds really dark in comparison to the other Marvel films.
Nice. And I'm happy just seeing the pictures. I'm not going to try to go in spoiler-free on Avengers 2 because I don't think that's possible.
I don't think
But
so either.
I'm not going to search for footage.
I'm going to go and say, when it comes to Avengers 2, my method of being spoiler-free is I will watch anything Marvel officially puts out.
There you go.
Trailers and things like that. I don't want to see set photos. I don't want to see bootleg footage that people get from on set. I will see the official stuff that gets put out.
Yeah, I'm excited to see when that first trailer launches. I shouldn't say the first trailer. I want to see the actual first trailer, not the teaser for the teaser trailer
Yes.
for the trailer. Because they're going to do that shit again, like with iTunes, where they'll have a date and they'll ramp it up for 2 weeks, and it'll be a 7-second teaser to the teaser trailer that'll come out 2 weeks later before the actual trailer a month after that.
Yes. And they did say at Comic-Con, Kevin Feige said the footage that was showed there will be released eventually, but it's not ready to come out yet.
Nice.
And also because, and think from their standpoint, they're showing Avengers 2 footage, and he goes, look, let's be honest, we're going to show this now, and then our focus is Guardians of the Galaxy, because that comes out in like 2 weeks, or a week when this happened. So they're doing what they need to do. You don't put the Avengers footage out there to take away buzz from Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, because that would be a bad idea. But of course, hey, if you're DC, you don't got to worry. You ain't got anything in the theaters.
Yeah, exactly.
You barely got anything for people to look forward to at all.
Not on the big
except
screen.
Small screen.
Yeah, small screen. Yeah, that's a good segue. There was a lot of stuff at Comic-Con about The Flash. Everyone's saying it looks really good. Constantine looking really good, even though they're having some casting issues. And
the fact that he doesn't smoke and he's not bi.
Yeah, I didn't see Gotham, any of the stuff on that, just because I wasn't paying attention, but I heard it was good. I did hear from people who were at Comic-Con they're doing some awesome viral marketing for Constantine. They had a bunch of people dressed up as John Constantine going through the con and handing out cards with his phone number and stuff on it. And if you called that, you got an answering service for his crew.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
That was really cool. I thought what was also really cool is there was a whole bunch of stuff on Arrow. In fact, Stephen Amell hosted a panel while we were there, and two things I wanted to bring up. They brought
Starring his abs.
I'm sorry?
Starring his abs.
Starring his abs, yes. Okay, so three things. First is that he had to show his abs off because the fans demanded it. Second, and kudos to Warner Brothers / the CW on this, they unveiled footage at Comic-Con that was put on YouTube almost the exact same time it was unveiled at Comic-Con.
Yeah, I think fantastic. I actually saw the link and watched the trailer when I came home after work that day before I realized that it was the same thing that they were showing at the Stephen Amell panel.
Yeah,
I was like, oh crap, I've already watched this.
Yeah, and it was great. And then the cool thing they did after that was that they added more footage of that trailer after the Arrow panel when they announced that the big bad for Season 3 is one Ra's al Ghul. So they added footage to the trailer they'd already shown that had Ra's al Ghul in it. No, you don't get to see a face or anything because they haven't cast the role yet, but you get to see a guy in armor and sword, carrying a sword, things like that. And it looks really cool. And this is that show that just keeps sucking me in. Every time, like, oh, they're going to go over the top. I'm like, nope, they got me.
Yeah, and they did the one thing that I think Kevin Smith said he was going to be excited to see was they did introduce the Trinity.
Yep.
For the first time ever, they had Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, and
Henry Cavill.
Superman. I couldn't think Henry Cavill, all on stage at the same time, which was kind of cool. But apparently, other than because the one photo I know leaked. I guess there was a short segment that they showed of Batman 5 Superman, but I don't know. I didn't read anything on it because
I saw it. It's if you've seen The Dark Knight Returns, it's basically a setup for Dark Knight Returns. It's Ben Affleck in the bat armor that Batman wore there, and Superman.
Yeah, the photo I saw was the bat armor. But yeah, it's funny because you look at everything Marvel's doing right with their movies. And then, the big announcement was hey, here's the 3, and here's a little segment of, Batman 5 Superman footage. And all DC did was get me more excited for Arrow.
Yeah. Well, and see, we talked about this on the Gonna Geek podcast a little bit, is that footage has leaked all over the place when it comes to the Batman v Superman stuff. And they keep pulling it down everywhere they go, and they keep changing their mind. Originally, oh, yeah, we'll put this footage out eventually for people. Now they're saying, no, this footage is just for Comic-Con. This is not how you build buzz on a movie.
No, and I don't know, it seems weird to me their big statement this year was, hey, we're going to make a tour of the TV and cinematic universes don't cross over. We want to keep those separate. It's that makes me want to see Arrow so much more than Batman versus Superman. The fucking Batman versus Superman movie should be the biggest thing ever. It should crush the Avengers. It should make twice the amount of money that the Avengers make. And I bet they'll be lucky to make half what the Avengers make with the way they're handling it. Well, and that's just sad.
We got a whole bunch of time between now and then. They could revise how they're doing things. I mean, the simple fact of the matter is right now Captain America 3 and Batman v Superman are coming out the same weekend.
And we still got, and they're still 2 years away? I mean, we got a lot of time.
And I can tell you right now, based off of having seen Cap 2, I will give my money to Captain America 3 before I give my money to Batman v Superman. So I'll be going to go see that one first is all. Meaning, not that I won't see the other one.
Well, lucky for me, the streak is I see Marvel films on opening day.
Yes.
So I don't have to worry about seeing the other ones. I see them eventually. but I don't know if I've seen a DC movie on opening day yet, because even Man of Steel I wasn't that excited to see, and I really like Man of Steel. I own the Blu-ray. I don't mind even the emo stuff. I enjoy even rewatching that movie 5 or 6 times since I bought it. But I didn't even then. I don't think I saw it opening day.
I saw Dark Knight Rises at 12:01 a.m.
Nice.
And then I went to work after that. That was a mistake.
Yeah, that'll lead to a long, tired day.
Oh yeah, man, I didn't realize how long I was going to be in the theater for that one.
When you compare like the names, like because really, DC versus Marvel, when you talk big iconic characters, DC wins hands down, because Batman and Superman beat Spider-Man all day, every day. When it comes to like if you go to a third world country and show a kid 3 different symbols, they know who the fuck Batman and Superman are.
Yeah.
They might pick out Spider-Man. But I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, I don't know who these executives are at Time Warner and DC that just seem to just not make the right decisions. It's just a weird thing. I don't get it. But yeah, I'm way more excited for Arrow than I've ever been for a DC movie, because the 3rd season of Arrow just looks spectacular, and I'm happy just watching Stephen Amell on social media. That guy's fucking great.
I really am too. I really enjoy seeing the stuff he puts out there. There's also another video. I will try and put the link out there for you guys. But during one of his panels, there's a kid that asks him to do the intro to Arrow.
Oh yeah, and he does it
live,
which was pretty cool. Yeah, and I think I liked one of the, I don't know if it was his Facebook or his Twitter, where he put out it was fun to be there with was it Grant? Whatever, the Flash. It was Amell apparently really enjoyed being at Comic-Con for the first time, seeing that kid with his reaction to like being introduced to the world now as the Flash, and kind of seeing someone go through what he went through 3 years ago as Arrow, and now like he's the seasoned veteran. And so yeah, he said like that was a real enjoyable thing to see this kid's like basically his whole world just blow up. It's like, oh shit, you're the Flash now, man.
Let's see. Let's go through some of the other Comic-Con news. We got the first look of Wonder Woman at Comic-Con. I think we talked about that before. So
yeah,
we'll just
the
keep
first
going
actual high-res awesome picture, which, yeah, she does look great. Yes. I was concerned that Gal Gadot wouldn't put on enough weight simply because she has really skinny arms. And she's not really that much bigger, but she does look fucking great in the outfit.
I'm very curious to see what that costume looks like when it's not through like a no-color filter.
Yeah, because it is hard to tell. Like,
it's very washed out in the photo.
Yeah, if it is, how much of it actually is like maroon and leather, and how much of it might actually have color, which they did the same thing with the Batsuit.
Yep.
Kevin Smith and everybody has already said, like, it's a monochrome photo. You don't know what the suit really looks like yet. So we haven't actually seen the full color version of these outfits all standing next to each other. I really want to see, a year before the movie launches, they need to drop that photo of a high-res, full-color Trinity shot. That will make geeks' heads explode.
See, what's some of the other stuff? Monster movie news, which will make some people happy. We've already heard there's a Pacific Rim sequel on the way. Godzilla 2 is confirmed with even more monsters being in it.
Yeah.
And then there's a film called Skull Island coming, which is a film about King Kong's home. That was announced at Comic-Con. Let's see, Fight Club 2 was announced as a comic series. Well, graphic novel, rather. So that could be interesting to some folks. I'm not a huge Fight Club fan. This is one I didn't care about originally. Interstellar, the trailer was showed at Comic-Con, and everyone said it was really good, and I gave absolutely no shits until I saw the Interstellar trailer before Guardians of the Galaxy, and I was like, holy shit, Matthew McConaughey doesn't seem to suck in this. I might want to see it.
It is a really good fucking trailer. Yeah, I'd heard about it, saw the posters, it's like, eh. And then, you watch the trailer, it's like, oh, yeah, that's right, this is a Christopher Nolan film. You will see it.
Yeah, it's Chris Nolan. I'm on board. What am I thinking? You start looking, you're like, oh, Anne Hathaway's in it, Michael Caine's in it. It's a lot of his same old people. I like it.
Yeah, he makes good movies. The guy just damn sure makes good movies.
Yeah, going down the list here, we already knew Community had been saved by Yahoo. Dan Harmon had said it's probably going to be around Christmas time when Season 6 starts. And Joel McHale was excited because they get to curse now.
Nice. It's always fun when you get a little upgrade.
Spider-Man,
hopefully it's like Arrested Development.
Yeah. Spider-Man movie news, Amazing Spider-Man 3 has been pushed back to 2018, it was announced, but the Sinister 6 movie is coming in 2016. I give absolutely no shits. But that's just me.
They're doing Fight Club 2 as a graphic novel. I'm stoked to see that because
Yeah.
I love Fight Club.
JS was really excited about that on the Gonna Geek podcast. This intrigues me. Firefly Online is a game that's coming out. I think Quantum Mechanics is behind it. There's no launch date yet, but they have said the entire cast of Firefly is reprising their roles for the game, and the trailer they released at Comic-Con features a brief cameo of Nathan Fillion as Captain Malcolm Reynolds.
Which, yeah, that will make millions of dollars. At this point, you give Firefly fans anything, their heads are going to
It's
explode.
a tongue twister, man. Firefly fan.
There we go. I need some more coffee.
Let's see. Evil Dead might be making a comeback. Sam Raimi revealed that he's working on a TV show with Bruce Campbell as the lead character, or in a starring character role.
Yeah, and I saw all I needed to see. Bruce Campbell took a photo on his Twitter of what was it, a Necronomicon, a chainsaw, and I think something else, and he just tweeted, "Got to get the gear ready."
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, he liked the remake movie, so if he's going to be involved in the TV show, I will have no problem watching it.
If you ever need entertainment, follow Bruce Campbell on Twitter, of course, and watch, I think it was a few days ago, he, Stephen Amell, and William Shatner were having a three-way conversation on Twitter.
Nice.
And it was hilarious.
He does, the Chin does some good Twitter. The way Stephen Amell does some good Facebook. It's some of these actors and stars and stuff, like some of them are just really, really good at social media.
Yeah, some of them.
Others fail miserably. But some of them are really good, really entertaining, worth following.
So here's some more trailers that were put out. I haven't seen all of them. Mad Max Fury Road came out. There was a new trailer for The Hobbit that came out.
Kevin Smith's Mad Max Fury Road.
Everyone said it's really good.
Oh, you haven't watched it yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my god, dude! When they said they were redoing Mad Max, I was like, oh, that's It's Tom Hardy, and it's the guy who created Mad Max is redoing Mad Max.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's every fucking thing you want in a remake. This might be the best remake ever.
Let's see. What are some of the other trailers that were shown? In the new Hunger Games Mockingjay trailer was shown, which is leaked online now. The trailer for Halo Nightfall, which is the Halo TV series, made it out. I watched it and I was like, huh? And I'm a Halo fan, so I'm hoping they put out something better.
Is it live action?
It's live action.
Live action Halo TV, huh?
It follows a character who's expected to play a large role in Halo 5.
It'll be Master Chief's little bitch.
Possibly. There was a Game of Thrones trailer shown off, a Gotham trailer, which I haven't seen yet. There was one for Atari's legendary E.T. game, which is a documentary coming out. And then a lot of people are really interested in this one. Daniel Radcliffe has the lead role in an adaptation of Joe Hill's Horns. They showed a trailer for that.
Oh, a new trailer too. There's been they've had a trailer out for a while. If anybody hasn't seen it, it looks amazing, and this is going to be probably the role that breaks Daniel Radcliffe's typecasting as Harry Potter.
That's good. And he was actually at Comic-Con also as
I was going to ask if you saw that. Yeah, the article I read, those he really did miss a huge opportunity just to kind of make fanboys' heads explode. If he'd have dressed up as Harry and then walked the floor running up to random couples that were a guy and a girl and asking if they were Ron and Hermione,
that'd be hilarious.
He would have won the internet. But yeah, the idea, I love just celebrities being on the floor dressed up in character so that they can go to Comic-Con and not be just bum rush with people all day. It's kind of cool. Though I think Bryan Cranston won the Comic-Con last year by going as Walter White. Yeah, wearing a Walter White mask over Walter White's face. That's just so very meta.
And if you guys get a chance, I don't remember where I saw the article. There was an article about Adam Savage and all of his different Comic-Con costumes that he's worn, and some of them are super in depth. I mean, if you aren't familiar, Adam Savage of the Mythbusters goes to Comic-Con every year, and for at least one of the days, he goes in a costume where you can't recognize him and drops hints to his fans to try and figure out who he is on the convention floor. It's an awesome game.
They also they showed the Tusk trailer, which, if you haven't seen it, it's online. It looks so fucking good.
Yes. But those are the big major pieces out of this article of things that were on there. There's a bunch of footage that we can't officially see, like the Batman v Superman clip, the Avengers Age of Ultron clip. Supposedly the Ant-Man footage came out, but things haven't gotten out on that. But those were the big things that came out news-wise at Comic-Con.
And there was also the bad news that they thought a cosplayer had been assaulted Apparently, after a fight, the police investigation in San Diego found out she fell apparently off a fence and hurt her
Oh.
head, and so the wounds that they found were actually from a fall.
Okay.
Apparently, the guy she was arguing with still ended up getting arrested for something he did earlier that day. Apparently, there was some douchebag at Comic-Con messing with girls and messing with women, whatever. But yeah, apparently there was a big search for trying to find information about this one specific cosplayer that they thought might have been assaulted, and apparently she got hurt trying to get away from the guy.
Right, we talked about that on the Gonna Geek podcast. I hadn't heard the news that they figured out some of that, just that someone gotten hurt, and we caution there, don't rush to judgment that there's something bad that happened, or that is a comic fan or an attendee of Comic-Con that went and did something, because bad things happen, and you can't just rush to say, oh, it's the comic nerds, they did this.
Yeah, and it's honestly it's kind of amazing, the idea that 100,000 minimum people drive into San Diego every year, and I think this is like the first big news story of someone being hurt.
Aside from the pencil stabbing a couple years ago.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that was like, a geek on geek violence trying to hold a chair in Hall H, and apparently, I mean, it's not like the guy died. But I mean, yeah, it's the idea that, I mean, this many humans cram into a city that downtown that normally, I guess, has like around 15,000 people in it, and every year for a week it has over 100,000 extra people. Like, they still have a pretty good, I think San Diego Comic-Con at least still has a pretty good safety record. People seem to be pretty good at taking care of their friends, watching out for stuff, though, there's still cosplayers being, sexually assaulted all the time, which that's another whole big issue. Did you see really Curry's whole big thing about that again?
Yes.
Dressman
brought it up in the chat room.
It's sad, yeah. Some guys are just disgusting. I mean, there's, I don't know.
Yeah, I hadn't brought it up just because it's a topic that nobody wins on. I mean, it needs to be addressed, but I don't know that we're the right platform to do it. It's just, It's terrible that things like that happen, and shame on the people that go and harass cosplayers, because people should be having fun going out in costume and things like that.
Exactly.
And if you ruin it for them, shame on you.
Exactly. Yeah, we go take it all the way back to the beginning of the episode. Go sign the Ben Glebe "Don't Be a Dick" pledge. Don't be a dick.
Yes, that's what it comes down to. So. Hell, I think we should just leave it at that. Don't be a dick, folks. And we're just going to wrap it up for this week, then.
Works for me.
So, from all of us to you, don't be a fucking dick, people. And don't forget, we'll stream live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, and all those other times at live.atgnpodcast.com. Join us next week. We'll be back. We'll be talking Guardians of the Galaxy. It'll be me, Naki, and Anthony. And we're opening it up to you guys. If you want to come and talk Guardians with us, let us know. We'll get you on the show. We're going to talk Guardians. We're going to gush over this movie.
Spoilerific.
Yes.
We will talk all the talk.
Tons of spoilers. So let us know. You can hit us up on the Twitter or the Facebook, personally for any of us, or the show's ones, and we'll get back in touch with you and make sure you're on the show. But talk Guardians with us, please. And don't forget to check out all the other great shows on the Gonna Geek Network at GonnaGeekNetwork.com. And I think I've plugged enough stuff. You got any parting thoughts for us, Anthony?
Amazing Spider-Man #4, the final introduction of the other person that got bit by the spider. Fucking awesome.
Is it?
It is. It's good stuff.
I'm going to have to get caught up. I've only read issue 1.
It's Dan Slott Spider-Man. What the fuck more do you need? This is the best Spider-Man writer probably ever.
You're entitled to your opinion.
And you're wrong.
I still like JMS's run until Sin's Past and things like that.
Oh, I did. I enjoyed the JMS run. I love Ezekiel, and honestly, Ezekiel has a big part in this.
Does he?
So
Okay, I'm
Slott
intrigued.
is using the character. Yeah, no, Dan Slott loves Spider-Man. It's one of the reasons he's such a damn good writer. You can tell he loves this character. He's put him through hell, but that's, when
That's
you write
true.
Peter Parker, you
That's
put
his
him through
job.
hell. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. But yeah, of all the books I read this week, like there were some good ones. Rick Remender's new one, Low, is pretty cool. I read the first issue. What happens when humans basically decide to start living in the ocean because the sun's getting too big and starting to burn up the planet? Oh, and we do have to mention this. Everybody hopefully picked one up from your LCS. This is the special edition Detective Comics number 27, and here is the important part. See if I can get it on screen. Right there underneath the credits.
Bill
It says
Finger.
Bill Finger.
Nice.
As it fucking should. So it took, 75 years but this is a Batman comic that actually has both creators' names on it. So get your hands on one of these. I haven't even opened up and read it yet. I don't care. The important part is fucking Bill Finger's name is on the cover. From everybody's the general consensus, he created 90% of what we consider to be the Batman mythos. You know, from the costume, Gotham, the car, like just fucking almost everything. And you know, sadly, Bob Kane got the credit for all of it.
Yep.
But yeah, his name's on the cover. It's fucking cool, people.
That's good. And one last thing, if you guys enjoyed seeing Guardians of the Galaxy, they're running sales on Comixology right now, or go to your local comic book shop and pick up some of the Guardians books and see if you're going to enjoy those too.
Though be careful. Yeah, read more, but be careful. The Guardians of the Galaxy, the new team, is a very new team. Make sure you're looking at what you're buying, because there was an entire giant run of an old team with Vance Astrovic, and it was called the Guardians of the Galaxy. It was the original team.
Look for the 2008 and up books for Guardians of the Galaxy if you're interested in what you just saw on film.
Anything before that, you're going to get a very different team. Great stories and really cool interstellar combat and all sorts of wickedness, but very different team.
Yes. So I think that's going to wrap us up for this week. And don't forget, let us know if you want to come on next week, talk Guardians of the Galaxy with us. And until then, adios, folks.
I am Groot.
I am Groot.